Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Sony Ericsson XPERIA X10. It's Android phone, WVGA. I'm sure you've read a lot of the specs before. What I'm basically going to talk about in this part of the video is how it feels. The device feels it's not light, but it's comfortable. It's not heavy at all. Most of the weight is in the top part of the phone. And as you can see here, there's a slight curvature on the back. So when you put it in your palm, it feels very light at the bottom and heavier up top. It feels very comfortable to hold. It goes right in your palm. I should say it's tailored to you. That's the way it feels. It's got the headphone jack at the top, charging, and then you've got your on-off button right there. On the side, you've got more curving. This is where you open it to expose. The back, it's got a 8 GB included. It supports up to 32 GB. It also has where your SIM card and your battery is. The battery is 1500 milliamps. Battery life so far for me, I'm not too sure yet. It's done pretty well. I don't have an exact figure to give you, so I don't want to say that. There's no trackball on here, so when you're typing, you're gonna notice a few strange things. Let me launch the browser real quick. It has its own keyboard, but when you're typing, let's say you're typing words and you realize you made a mistake and you want to go back and fix something, you've got to be very accurate. Since this has such a large screen, they've gotten rid of the trackball. I guess they figure that you'll be able to pinpoint where you're trying to go. For people who've used G1 Overpass or BlackBerry users, ACC phone users, you're used to having that little trackball that you can go to get pinpoint, but they figure, hey, look, the screen's enormous, you're gonna find a place that you want to go. As for the keyboard that I just mentioned, it takes a little getting used to if you're coming from an HVGA device, because you're probably so used to, your thumb is used to knowing where the keyboard is in your mind, but then you've got to adjust basically. So let me move around real quick. Alright. When you're typing the phrase, let's say Andrew, normally I can do this off memory, but I have to actually look where I'm going when I do this in order to make sure I get the text prediction right. And it does little suggestions up here about where you should go. So I'm going to say Andrew, and the next word it figures, okay, what's he trying to type? So before I even type anything, it has a suggestion. So I'm going to put is, when I press space, it's going to try to figure out the next word. So I can say the. Andrew is the, wait, hold on, THE, and that space, and they're going to try to figure out what's the next word he's doing. So wrong person, space, to mess with. I know that's not grammatically correct, since you shouldn't end a sentence with, but whatever. As you saw, I typed in Petson and it didn't correct it. The auto correction feature isn't working too great on here, but you can switch back to the default Android keyboard if that's what you want. You just long press and press input method. It has a Japanese keyboard too, by the way. I'm not Japanese, but let me switch back to English. It has the default keyboard if that's what you wish to use. It's not too bad. It takes getting used to. If you spend the time to mess around with this, you won't have a problem using this keyboard. After a few days of using this primarily, I've gotten better with it. It's basically about just retraining your thumbs on where the device, where the keys are on the phone. Then you've got your home button, you've got your memory button, and back. There's no like end button, like end call, as you're used to seeing. You got your volume buttons on the side, and the volume is pretty loud. And of course you've got timescape, but that's something we're going to take a look at in another video. When you scroll up on the bar, it's got the little gradient here. Then you got your apps. You can scroll down and use a lot of apps. It comes with some built-in apps for syncing. So if you want to have a calendar, contacts, mail, or your tasks synced, Sony Ericsson has like their little proprietary way of doing that. It also comes with Office Suite, but I suggest using Documents to Go instead. And it comes with Play Now. I can't test that yet because it's not available in the US yet. And of course, when you this doesn't skin Android as much as Sense does. It basically changes the look. It doesn't add as much or make as many changes. Like here we are in the settings field, but let's say I go to an app like Calendar. Let's see. As you can see, the basics of the default Android calendar is still there. There are some changes though when you go to, let me see, agenda view. Let's say I click on, you see the skin has changed the background, but the way it's implemented is still very much the same. Let me add a new event. So you see the little subtle changes like the background colors, the notification bar has changed. It has your own icons. And when you go on the widgets, the power bar has been changed to fit the interface. The search bar as well. So you can see all the stuff you can do on here. Hey, what do you know? Android Unicum comes up first for a TMZ blog. When you search TMZ in Android, Android Unicum comes up first. That's sweet. Alright. So you got your alarm clock. The phone book is something we're going to take a look at now. This is something I really like. It looks similar to the default one, but you've got a different look, obviously, interface, and they move the navigation to the bottom instead of being on the top. So I can go to dollar, I can check my call log, contacts, etc. And I've got my favorites. I can scroll down, and it has a search bar at the top, so you don't have to press menu to search anymore. You can just do that naturally, and you can add a new contact by clicking the little button in the top right corner. And this brings up the section where you can create a new contact and you can link a lot of stuff to it. So now we're going to take a look at some other stuff in some other videos, so be sure to check out the other videos on Timescape, Mediascape, the camera, and such.